Namo Amida Butsu. Our wise and compassionate teacher, verses in honor of masterShinran Shonen by Gansen John Welch. masterShinran Shonen shines a searching light that is exceedingly bright, profound, true and right, on the deepest, darkest regions of our minds, where, to our horror, we find all our numerous faults, fears and failures, too difficult for us to confront, endure and cure. masterShinran's sincerity, honesty, great integrity and genuine humility is an example and inspiration for us all, not to remain in thrall to self-deception and the pretense that we can make any sense of the madness, evil, badness and sadness that afflicts all sentient beings in samsara, due to their negative past and present karma. With supreme wisdom and great compassion, Shinran explains how we all are enslaved by blind passion and karmically controlled by causes and conditions from the limitless past that will lead us to perdition. Only Amida's primal vow and Amida's other power can save us now, as our feeble self-power is utterly helpless and useless in this age of Mappo, the age of Dharma decline. So, let us immediately entrust our karmic destiny to Amida, as only he can free us from birth and death when we take our final breath. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you, Amida Buddha. Homage to Amida Buddha. I take refuge in Amida Buddha. The above verses were inspired by the following passages from the writings of masterShinran Shonen. The true teaching, practice, and realization of the Pure Land Way. Preface. I reflect within myself. The universal vow, difficult to fathom, is indeed a great vessel bearing us across the ocean difficult to cross. The unhindered light is the light of wisdom dispersing the darkness of our ignorance. Thus it is that, when conditions for the teaching of birth in the Pure Land had matured, Devadatta provoked Ajatasattu to commit grave crimes. And when the opportunity arose for explaining the pure act by which birth is settled, Shakyamuni led Vahadahi to select the land of peace. In their selfless love, these incarnated ones, Devadatta, Ajatasattu, Vahadahi, all aspired to save the multitudes of beings from pain and affliction, and in his compassion, Shakyamuni, the great hero, sought indeed to bless those committing the 5 grave offences, those slandering the Dharma, and those lacking the seed of Buddhahood. We know therefore that the auspicious name embodying the perfectly fulfilled supreme virtues is true wisdom that transforms our evil into virtue, and that the diamond-like shinjin, so difficult to accept, is true reality that sweeps away doubt and brings us to attainment of enlightenment. This, then, is the true teaching, easy to practice for small foolish beings. It is the straight way, easy to traverse for the dull and ignorant. Among all teachings the great sage preached in his lifetime, none surpasses this ocean of virtues. Let the one who seeks to abandon the defiled and aspire for the pure, who is confused in practice and vacillating in faith, whose mind is dark and whose understanding deficient, whose evils are heavy and whose karmic obstructions manifold, let such persons embrace above all the Tathagata's exhortations, take refuge without fail in the most excellent direct path, devote themselves solely to this practice, and revere only this shinjin. Ah, hard to encounter, even in many lifetimes, is the decisive cause of birth, Amida's universal vow. Hard to realize, even in myriads of kalpas, is pure shinjin that is true and real. If you should come to realize this practice in shinjin, rejoice at the conditions from the distant past that have brought it about. But if in this lifetime still you're entangled in a net of doubt, then unavoidably you must pass once more in the stream of birth and death through myriads of kalpas. Wholly sincere indeed are the words of truth that one has grasped, never to be abandoned, the right Dharma all surpassing and wondrous. Hear and reflect, and let there be no wavering or apprehension. How joyous am I, Gotoku Shinran, disciple of Shakyamuni. Rare is it to come upon the sacred scriptures from the westward land of India and the commentaries of the masters of China and Japan, but now I have been able to encounter them. Rare is it to hear them, but already I have been able to hear, reverently entrusting myself to the teaching, practice, and realization that of the true essence of the Pure Land Way. I'm especially aware of the profundity of the Tathagata's benevolence. Here I rejoice in what I have heard and extol what I have attained." End quote. The above verses were also inspired by Shinran's writings as found in Tannisho, a record and lament of divergences, by Yuienbo. Among Master Shinran's words were, "I know nothing at all of good or evil, for if I could know thoroughly as Amida Tathagata knows that an act was good, then I would know good. If I could know thoroughly as the Tathagata knows that an act was evil, then I would know evil. But with a foolish being full of blind passions, in this fleeting world, this burning house, all matters without exception are empty and false, totally without truth and sincerity. The Nembutsu alone is true and real. Good thoughts arise in us through the prompting of good karma from the past, and evil comes to be thought and performed through the working of evil karma. The late master said, knowing that every evil act done, even as slight as a particle on the tip of a strand of rabbit's fur or sheep's wool, has its cause in past karma." End quote. Namo Amida Butsu.